Alright guys, we're gonna make some French press coffee. So I've got my French press here. It's wet because I had cold brew in it and I needed to warm it up and rinse it out. I've got my ground coffee, which looks like my grinder might be a little off because it's supposed to be just coarse ground, and it looks like there is some fine stuff in there in addition to the coarse grind, but that's okay. Basically that's going to give you that kind of like sludgy stuff on the bottom. It might make it taste a little less smooth, but you know, what can you do? You gotta work with what you got. And then I have my water starting to boil here. Basically, we're wanting it to stop just before boil. We're wanting it to get to about 190 here. So we've got a little ways to go. It looks like the water that comes out of my sink actually comes out around 110, 120, so that's kind of nice. But we're gonna let that go. And we're gonna start putting the coffee in the carafe. So, I mean, it's kind of personal preference. Some folks like it stronger, some folks like it lighter, but the general rule of thumb is 1 tablespoon of grounds per 6 to 8 ounces of water. I usually put 10 to 12 scoops in here, and then I fill it up to here. So not the most, what's it called? Not the most precise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So in here we've got the grounds on the bottom. When the water gets to the temperature that we want, we're going to basically put a little bit of water in here so that it can kind of bloom the coffee. And then we're gonna fill it up the rest of the way and then stir it. I'm using a metal spoon so that I don't shatter this guy. But it sounds like the water's getting close. It is. We're only about 10 degrees off. The red line here at 200 is when it actually starts boiling. So we actually just got this Death Wish coffee kettle because unfortunately you can probably see on the other burner my husband and I accidentally left our old ceramic coated kettle on the burner with no water in it, and it kind of melted a hole through it, so whoops. So we've got this one and we're gonna take way better care of it. And it's super cool because it's Death Wish coffee, which, by the way, is the coffee that I'm using. I don't have the bag on hand to show you, but it's the Valhalla Java coffee from Death Wish coffee. So okay, so it's actually over now. So I'm going to pull this off and just set it here on the counter. And I realized earlier I said that water boils at around 200. When I said at around 200, I meant this red line here is kind of like the threshold for when it's starting. I'm assuming that that's kind of the threshold that they like for, or that they suggest for using the water heat for coffee. Water actually boils at 212, so it'd be more up, I don't know, like right here, which is fine, but I just wanted to clarify that. Me personally, I'm not going to wait for it to get all the way down here to 190. I'm just going to go ahead and go. So like I said, you want to kind of pour a little, you want to pour a little bit to let it start to bloom, kind of get that coffee to start to open up and become fragrant. And we're gonna pour Funnily enough, this kettle holds pretty much exactly as much coffee as I need. So I'm just gonna give it a nice little stir. Make sure that all of those coffee grounds are floating around. And I wanna not take all the coffee with me. So, for timing, anywhere between 3 to 6 minutes, I believe it is. A lot of people recommend 4. I'm gonna do like 5 to 6 just because why not? So I don't depress the plunger yet. I just put it kind of on there. So that way we're gonna let that sit there and wait, and I'll see you guys in 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, we're back. And I said earlier that I didn't have any, the bag or anything that the coffee that I'm using is in, but then I realized that with the kettle I got this bandana. So Valhalla Java is the coffee that I'm using in here. It's from Death Wish Coffee. They're delicious. So anyway, it's been about 6-ish minutes, and so we're going to slowly depress the plunger. Yum. So we're gonna let that sit for a second so I can get my coffee cup. Let me get a little creamer. I could definitely just drink coffee black, especially this coffee. It tastes really good, especially when you're making it in a French press or cold brew like I did, because the French press is gonna have like that kind of creamier flavor, and the cold brew is going to be like no acidity, nice and smooth, and I could probably drink iced coffee year round. I haven't been drinking a lot of iced coffee because I can't go anywhere, so I've been actually I have a little just coffee pot. You could tell I need to clean it, but I do like to take the time to make French press on occasion, and I finally decided that I'd just make some cold brew so that I could enjoy some at home. So let's give it a pour. And I actually put in way too much creamer, so that's unfortunate, because usually I like it to be more of like a kind of like an oaky color, I guess, but that's okay. So this was making some French press coffee. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. Bye!